Today, I want to chat with you guys about something we will use for the rest of the year. This is something you will use in this class and many other classes, as well as situations throughout your lifetime. This little thing I'm talking about is what we call critique. Think about any time you left a comment or feedback on someone else's social media, YouTube, or anything similar. This is a form of critique, and it has value, probably more value than you even realize. So why not learn how to do it well right here in this art classroom? If you've been given feedback by others online, or you yourself have been given feedback that hasn't been that amazing, listen up. There has been an etiquette and formal way of doing critique throughout history in art schools, but critique doesn't stop there. When I say the word etiquette, what I mean is simply something similar to norms, or the way that we do things. So, we are going to take a look at this and see what we can learn from those who've gone before us in that structure that they've created, and the way your knowledge of critique apply in the art room and out of it. So, here's how a critique usually goes, and it might be similar to something that you've already experienced in art class. 1, each person will get out their work in process or completed. Then you will start talking, and a discussion begins. Questions are asked, observations are made, and work is described. Then, finally, constructive criticism and feedback is offered. So before we get into that structure, we need to talk about the why. Why do we do critique, and why are we spending quite a bit of time learning about this process and how to work through it? Is it so you can simply share your opinions loud and clear? No. Is it simply so you can try to change the minds of others or your classmates? Absolutely not. Critique is, actually, most often helpful for the person giving the critique. In looking at someone else's work and forming your own opinion of it, you yourself are reflecting and learning a lot. It's a constructive process, and it can really push you to grow as an artist and learner. It will help you see things from different perspectives, and it'll also help shape your thoughts and opinions. Now that we've covered all that stuff, let's go over the critique structure, as well as some tips and insights that will really up your critiquing game. So, first, always be thoughtful and give it your time. Technology and the internet have trained us to look at things quickly and only give them a split second of our attention. Stop that and fight the urge that this has created in you. Your work deserves someone else's time, just like their work deserves yours. Look at it for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes. You might see something that you wouldn't have seen at first. 2, don't be lazy or give the cop-out answer, or use lazy answers. A good example of a lazy answer is, I like it. What do you even mean? What do you like? Another good example of a lazy answer is, it is interesting. Well, why? A few more of these words that are considered lazy words are things like cool, good, nice, pretty, great. It's okay to use these words sometimes, but always be thinking about why it is pretty, cool, or good. Give your brain more credit than that. You have more thoughts than you might realize. So instead of saying, this painting is great, and giving a lazy answer, why don't you try, this painting is great because you have done A, B, C, and I really like how you handled D. I also can tell that you paid special attention to this specific element or this specific principle. Third, be generous, or look for the best in the work. Always look for what is successful. A performance artist named Matthew Goulash once said, look at the aspects of wonder instead of the problems that you might see at first. The things that make you stop and say, I like that. Or, I wonder what they were communicating with that right there. Celebrate creativity and wonder by giving it the time that it needs. Practice generosity by looking for what is successful in every single piece of work. Number 4, find some sort of connection, personal or not. I bet each of you will look at something and it will remind you of a personal experience, an emotion, a memory, a friend, whatever it might be. Find a personal connection. What does the work remind you of? Does it remind you of something you've seen before in a movie or on a TV show or around when you're traveling? Think about all the materials or even what's not in the work. What does the drawing communicate to you? Finally, if you can't think of anything specific to say, ask a question. What is confusing you about the art, or what information does it need for you to make that personal connection? Now, number 5, last but not least, but probably the most important. Don't be a jerk. There's way too much negativity in this world to add to it. You're going to be talking about someone else's work. Any type of work is personal. It's something that that person that you're talking about has put their time and efforts into. That's a big deal. It is personal. Don't say anything that you wouldn't want said about your own work. Don't be rude and don't be a jerk. Be respectful, and it may not be your job to declare if the work is good or bad. You might not be able to pass that judgment. So, challenge yourself to view it for what it is and offer up a valuable and constructive thought. We must be in this together. This is one thing that will help you grow and improve over and over and over again. So let's always choose to be respectful, kind, and courteous, as well as helpful and constructive. Talk to each other, find the aspects of wonder, ask questions, but don't be a jerk. It will make it an amazing and productive experience. Let's get to critiquing.